I'm Dr. Elizabeth Owings. I'd like to talk to you today about the miracles that's available through platelet-rich plasma. Now, this has been getting more and more press recently, so I wanted to describe exactly what that is first, and then what's available that we can actually use that to help in healing the body and help rejuvenate tissues. So, platelets are actually the part of the blood that tell the body, for example, if there's been a cut, the platelets tell the body, stop bleeding, and the other message they tell the body is, start healing. And over time, what we've learned is that if we concentrate those platelets, then we're actually able to address those healing messages to very specific sites in the body that may need some rejuvenation. For example, this has been used in orthopedics, especially sports injuries, for years. And we've found that we've been able to improve healing time, improve recovery time after surgery, and improve recovery time after injury. So it's been very, very useful in that field. Other things that this has been used for example, is in the hair. We're actually able to stimulate hair growth by taking these platelets themselves and their healing messages and actually utilize it on the scalp. There's a process called microneedling, which basically takes several tiny needles and is able to utilize those needles to actually puncture the skin right around the hair follicle and introduce those growth factors near the hair follicle, where they then tell the hair follicles, grow hair. This has been very useful in that arena. Also, we can use it on the face. Kim Kardashian, a very prominent star, has had what's called a vampire facial. Now, the name actually refers to the fact that these blood products are used, and it's the patient's own blood products. So I just want to emphasize that there's never been a serious adverse event associated with platelet-rich plasma because it is the person's own blood products. So in a vampire facial, the face is actually microneedled as well. Again, these tiny puncture marks, these are introducing the platelet-rich plasma into the skin where it's, again, giving its healing, growing, rejuvenating message to all the skin cells. So there will be an increase in collagen, the skin will look younger, it will have that youthful glow that we may have lost over time. Another thing that can be done is something called a vampire facelift. Now, this is not like a surgical facelift where part of the skin is removed and the skin is actually stretched tighter. This actually utilizes fillers such as hyaluronic acid. There are several brand names out there. But the filler actually forms a matrix that the platelet-rich plasma can utilize to bring and grow new tissue in the area, okay? As well, and this is going to give a longer lasting effect. In general, we say that platelet-rich plasma will start to see those effects at about 3 weeks, and then they'll peak at about 3 months. So the filler itself is going to give a more youthful contour while the platelet-rich plasma is acting. So other things that we can use this for, it was only a matter of time before forward-thinking people said, look, just how much can we help? How many issues people may be experiencing can we help? And we know that our sexuality is a source actually potentially of great distress. Ultimately, 40% of women are experiencing some degree of sexual distress. 14% of them routinely will talk to their doctor. And the reasons come down to, I think there's a degree of acceptance. Women have just learned to tolerate the way they're feeling, and just there's something of a hopelessness because it's not like doctors have had a lot of things to offer in the past. So moving down, the platelet-rich plasma can actually be used to help the breast contour. Even women who've had implants may be dissatisfied with their contour over time because they'll lose volume, and it becomes more and more apparent perhaps that they've got an implant and that there is some volume loss next to it. If there's anywhere on the body where two parts we want to look alike, it's in the breasts. And so this vampire breast lift, again, not technically a lift, it's just to restore contour, is able to help women in that area. When we look at, again, sexual health, maybe easier to talk about the men first, okay? There's a platelet-rich plasma can be used in something called the Priapus shot, because we know over time men are losing 30 to 50% of the volume of their erections over time, and this is something that can be restored. Again, these growth factors are going directly to the area, and they're rejuvenating these tissues, okay? So let's talk about the women. the women have something called an O shot, and I really think it's important to understand what's going on here. The pink pill has gotten some press recently. You know, men have had Viagra for a few decades now. This pink pill really only tells your brain, FDA approved, but it really only tells your brain that you have the desire or that you want to be aroused, but it does absolutely nothing for the sexual response for women. Nothing. And what we know over time, again, even though sexual distress may be greater in the 20 to 29-year-old age group than, say, in the 60-year-old age group, we know that the sexual response is diminished over time. Women are having a more difficult time achieving arousal as well as proceeding to climax, and vaginal lubrication is more of a problem. So what we found is that we can actually restore these functions. There's never been a treatment that has given an 85% improvement in female sexual distress until this procedure called the O shot. So I just wanted to introduce you to these concepts that platelet-rich plasma can be used for. Thank you for listening.